Who would have thought that BlackJack could save countless lives? Now he is forced to become a murderer. It turns out not long ago, BlackJack goes to the military base. Replacement for scientist Hagen, who suffers from brain tumor. Have a final physical checkup. Read the inspection report. Hagen's body is completely healed. But Hagen said, something strange happened recently that bothered him. It turns out there have been a lot of murders around here. The victims were all cut open. But no one has seen the murderer. Even the murder weapon cannot be determined. Because of the victims' wounds, they're all as smooth as if they've been cut with a scalpel. The most unacceptable thing is, the crime always happens in the afternoon. But the murderer still hasn't been caught. BlackJack doesn't believe the criminal is so arrogant. Then, Hagen pulled out a map showing the location of the murder. Just wanted to continue the discussion with BlackJack. Hagen's nephew David walked in. Bring coffee to both of you. Then he was kicked out by his uncle. Hagen also wanted to ask BlackJack's opinion. But BlackJack doesn't want to wait long. Prepare to say goodbye and leave. At this time, David and Pinocchio were having fun. Hagen was also very emotional when he saw it. After all, my nephew stays with me. It's been a long time since I played with my peers. Then he saw the pattern David had drawn on the ground. He also seemed to suddenly think of something. Find that map just now. He finally understood who the murderer was, but I looked at my watch. It's almost 2 o'clock. He ran out of the house in a hurry. I originally wanted my nephew to come back, but both children are missing. He also went out. BlackJack inside the house. Suddenly I heard Hagen's cry for help. Chase out and check. Sure enough, Hagen was injured. BlackJack in order to treat him. I also used a scalpel to cut open his clothes, but was considered by David. BlackJack is the murderer who hurt his uncle. BlackJack ignored David. We can only bandage the black roots first, but my nephew called the police. To avoid misunderstanding, BlackJack chose to escape here first. Then look for opportunities to prove yourself. Sneak away a police car. The police also bite BlackJack hard. But I didn't expect that BlackJack is the Akina Mountain by God. The police can't catch up at all, but they know how to outflank them. Drive BlackJack to the edge of the cliff. But I didn't expect the speed to be too fast. BlackJack can't stop the car at all. Then I heard an explosion. Thought BlackJack was dead. But in fact, they jumped out of the car and ran away in advance. While the police are distracted, he drove away in another car. In order to find clues to the murderer, BlackJack must go back to see Hagen. It turned out that in this forest, the murderer doesn't just kill people. Even animals are not spared. The trees nearby were also chopped down with knives. I feel something is wrong with this matter. BlackJack can only go to nearby villages and towns first. Ask about the situation, but no one knows the details. I can only ask the survivors after they were killed, but even he didn't see who was attacking him. I only know that there is a gust of wind blowing in my ears. When I am injured. BlackJack feels that Hagen is the only one who knows everything. Wait until the police leave Hagen's house. BlackJack sneaks in to look for clues. Take out the map for that day. Look at the position of the victim. Found the pattern. He also guessed who the murderer was. Then the room suddenly lit up. David found them. In order to survive, BlackJack explained to him, I wasn't the one who hurt your uncle. This is all done by Japanese monsters. It's a kind of demon named Lianyu. They would use sickles to leave wounds on people. The boy was distracted after hearing BlackJack snatched his gun for safety. Although I tried my best to persuade the boy, I will catch the murderer for him tomorrow. But David didn't believe what he said. BlackJack thought he still had time. But when he wakes up, the police have surrounded him. The sheriff thought BlackJack was carrying a scalpel. It's a crime tool. BlackJack wants to prove it to them. The sheriff didn't want to believe him at all. BlackJack said that the weather is so good today. The criminal will definitely show up again. If you don't believe in yourself, then someone will definitely be injured. After hearing this, the sheriff also decided to let BlackJack use BlackJack as bait. Take to location marked on map. But I waited for 2 hours. I thought I was pleased by BlackJack. The sheriff doesn't want to wait any longer. BlackJack advised him not to come over. Didn't take the warning seriously. But it's too late. Suddenly there was a strong wind here. The wind blade chops down trees like a knife. The police chief also got stabbed hard. BlackJack's arm was injured. Seeing the police sergeant seriously injured, BlackJack tells them to let go. His wounds must be treated as soon as possible. Seeing the wind blade has hurt my heart. Fortunately, BlackJack is here. Operate on him with only one hand. Although it was difficult, I completed it. David also knew at this time that he was wrong. Waited for so long, the sheriff woke up. He asked BlackJack why he didn't see the murderer. BlackJack told him, the culprit is actually a missile. Because when the missile test was launched, Creates super powerful vortex at close range. Can tear everything apart. Found the murderer. Of course the sheriff won't arrest BlackJack again. He also said he would help prevent this missile base from continuing to be used.